Okay, so I got another nudge, right? Divine said, you sharing premonitions and they're helpful, but I need you to share this one too, because maybe people think that you're focused on one particular situation. And okay. Anyway, so maybe about 4 nights ago, maybe a week ago or so, um, I was, in a pocket. This healing process is hard. There's ups, there's downs. Some days I'm sad, some days I'm angry, some days I'm at peace, and some days I'm like, fuck you. So I remember, like, in the 3D in reality, I was up in Jersey. I think I was waiting to make a delivery. I was on a 10 or something. I don't know, but I was at a TA. I remember that. Um, Maybe I was in Pennsylvania on my way to New Jersey. I don't know. Anyway, I was at a TA. Okay. And again, those who know about dreams, there are particular things that don't align with reality. So keep that in mind when I tell you the story. I'd gotten out of my truck and I went inside the building, the TA, and there was this this room, like this duck off room to the right, and it was dark, but it was almost like a lounge area, like a club lounge area, right? Not a driver's lounge. Now, mind you, before I had this dream, this was the point of me telling you about the process. I was in a sad pocket and I was crying before I went to sleep, and just like really being hard on myself, like, how do I let this shit happen? Like, I'm so gifted and I just ignore, all the signs because my flesh really just believes that it's meant for me to love and be loved. But again, as I've said in previous videos, I think I'm just meant to show people certain things about themselves, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so again, I'm in this like lounge area and um, there's like lights going and maybe some music in the background, but I don't really remember what was playing. But I remember I looked to the right and there's like a window, and there was this man and a group of people around him. He was a white man, but he looked like he might have had some mix up in there, kind of like half white, half Hispanic or something like that. I don't know. But he was quite handsome and tall, very tall, maybe like 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", maybe, and like stocky, like swole buff kind of, but not muscular buff, just kind of like thick. And his presence like took up the whole room. Like, it just, you walked in and you immediately zoned in on him. But the crazy part was the group that was around him was so diverse. Like, you had a black girl, you had she had some beautiful dreads, you had two white people, but one was kind of like punk rock gothic like, and then the other one was just kind of like beatboxer, like rough around the edges, like from the Northeast probably, I don't know. You had Hispanic, you had a Pakistani, like, it was a diverse group of people, and you could tell that they really looked up to him, like they followed him, like he was their leader, like he led the pack, right? And they were working on some project or something, but it had to do with music. I don't know what was happening really but when he saw me, he walked up to me and was like, hey, you finally made it. And I looked at him like, you know me? And I said, made it where? Like, how do you know me? Like, what's happening? He said, oh, I've been waiting for you. I said, okay, what's up? He said, I know you don't know me and I can see that you're afraid of me, but know that I won't hurt you. I'm here to protect you. I love you. And I'm like, you don't even know me. He said, oh, I know you. I've known you for a long time. I said, okay. Well, I'm about to go back to my truck. I was just looking around because I heard something. I was trying to find out what's going on. He said, okay, I'll walk you. I said, okay. Oh, and my dog was with me too. I guess I had him on a leash and didn't realize it till this moment as we're walking out. So we hit the door of the TA and we go outside, and there's like this, I think he may have been like a pit bull, some kind of American mix or something. Dog, he maybe is like 2 times larger than Harry. And he runs up to Harry like playfully, and they just like play fight, and Harry, growling and shit, all that, and barking and everything. Well, he startled me, and so I pulled Harry back. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. I picked him up, and I'm like, I don't know this dog, and I don't know what's happening. But when I realized the dog was being playful, then I put Harry back down so he can play, right? And then I turn around and look, and that crowd of people that was with this man is like following behind him, like they're hooked to him, like, Pied Piper and the people that would follow the Pied Piper. It was like they were everywhere he went, they had to be. Like, they flowed in like water behind him. It was crazy. And there were a lot of them, maybe like 10, 12 people. And so he looks down at the dog and then looks at me, smiles, and then we keep walking. Well, when we get to my truck, it's kind of weird in the dream confirmation. Every time, I love it. When we get to my truck, it was set up like RV style on the outside, where it had like an awning, and then I had like a little living room set up under there. I had like a high bar table, and my laptop was on the table, and it was open as if I was trying to work on something. Now, mind y'all, I've been in my solitude and my isolation, right? And so that's important in this message. And so I go to the outside part, the RV setup, and I turn around to him, and I'm like, no, he's on my left. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for walking me. I got it from here. I'm okay. And he sits at the bar table, like in a stool. And I'm like, And then I look, and all of his people sit down on my couch, like in my area, and they start setting up their project, and they're gonna hang out here in my space and do whatever it was they were trying to do over there. And so I look at him and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here, but it's not. And so I need you to tell your people that this is not where they need to be, and they can go back to where they were. And so he does. He tells them to get their stuff and leave, and they look like so distraught and confused, like, what? You telling us to leave? Like, you choosing her over us? Like, what's happening? But, like sad puppy dogs, they got their stuff and they, but he stayed and got real close up on me. And there was a feeling that washed over me, like, I'm safe, and almost like an adoration of love that came over me for this man that I didn't even know. And when he saw it wash over me, he smiled. He said, see, you know me, and I would never hurt you. I'm here to protect you. And I looked down at his outfit, and he had a name tag on his shoulder. I don't remember. I can't really see the name in my dream. It's really fuzzy, but I remember it having a J in it and some other letter in the last name, and it said driver trainer, and it was Walmart tag, driver trainer, 3-time trainer, or something like that. And then I heard a rustling behind my truck, like on the backside, and I saw this man dressed in like a black restaurant kind of uniform, dragging that same dog that walked up to Harry into a field as the dog struggled and looked at me and smiled and gave me a salute like he was taking care of it. And I felt so guilty and upset. This man next to me just smiled and gave me a wink. So